Have you ever spent 20 minutes writing a text message, not to share a story, but to build a defense? You carefully select every single word. You clarify your tone. You state your intentions. You meticulously lay out the timeline of events, hoping that if you can just arrange the words in the perfect, precise order, the other person will finally say, "Oh, I understand now, I see your heart." But they don't. They reply with something cold, they twist your words, or they simply ignore the essay you just bled onto the screen, and immediately your chest tightens. Your breath gets shallow. Your brain screams, "Wait, no, you misunderstood me. Let me explain it again." You are trapped in an exhausting loop. You are pouring your soul out to prove your innocence to people who have already decided you are guilty. Why do you do this? Why do you fight so hard to be seen by eyes that are determined to stay closed? If you struggle with this, you might think you just have a communication problem, but you don't. This is not about communication. This is an ancient survival mechanism playing out in your nervous system. And once you see it, you can finally put the burden down. Let's talk about the lived experience of the over-explainer. It is a uniquely exhausting way to live. When someone misunderstands your intentions, whether it's a partner, a parent, or a friend, you do not just feel annoyed. You feel a visceral physical panic. It feels as though the ground has opened up beneath you. Your heart rate spikes. Your mind starts racing, instantly gathering evidence. You transform into a defense attorney in the courtroom of your own life. You think, if I can just show them the context, if I can just explain what I meant, if I can just prove that I am a good person, they will stop being angry. So, you explain. You apologize for things you didn't even do, just to soften the ground. You over-communicate. You write the long paragraphs. You speak until your voice shakes. But here is the tragic irony of over-explaining. The more words you use, the less they hear you. Your desperation to be understood is weaponized against you. They take your long explanations as proof of your guilt. They think, if they did nothing wrong, why are they defending themselves so hard? And you are left standing there entirely depleted. Your reality feels blurred. You start questioning your own memory. You start wondering, maybe I am the toxic one. Maybe I am crazy. You think you are trying to resolve a conflict, but the truth is much darker. You are begging for permission to exist in your own reality. Listen to me carefully. You are not broken, and you are not doing this because you lack boundaries. In modern pop psychology, society tells you that communication is the key to everything. We are taught that if there is a conflict, we just need to talk it out. So, you naturally assume that if someone doesn't understand you, it is a failure of your vocabulary, a failure of your delivery. But over-explaining is not a communication skill. Over-explaining is a trauma response. It is directly linked to an old, deep psychological wound, the invalidation wound. When you over-explain, you are not actually trying to connect with the person in front of you. You are trying to regulate a terrified, younger version of yourself who was taught that being misunderstood is dangerous. You over-explain because somewhere in your past, your truth was not enough. Your reality was not safe unless someone else validated it. And until you recognize this, you will spend the rest of your life trying to translate your soul to people who do not speak your language. To understand why you cannot simply stop talking, we have to look at the neuroscience of emotional invalidation. When you are a child, your survival depends entirely on your caregivers. If a child falls and scrapes their knee and cries, a healthy caregiver says, "I see you are hurt." That makes sense. The child's internal reality matches their external environment. The brain feels safe. But what happens if a child cries and the caregiver says, "Stop crying. You're fine. It doesn't even hurt. You are just being dramatic." Or worse, what if the child is constantly blamed for things they didn't do? This creates profound cognitive dissonance. The child's brain registers a terrifying truth: my reality is wrong. Therefore, I am fundamentally defective. And if I am defective, my tribe will abandon me. For the human brain, abandonment equals death. So, the child learns a survival strategy. I must make them understand my reality, or I will not survive. Forward to today. When a partner or a friend twists your words or assumes the worst of your intentions, you are not just having a disagreement. Your brain is experiencing an amygdala hijack. Your nervous system perceives their misunderstanding not as an annoyance, but as a literal threat to your survival. This triggers a specific branch of your nervous system. You are familiar with fight, flight, or freeze. But over-explaining is the fourth trauma response: fawn. Fawning is an attempt to create safety by merging with the other person's expectations. You over-explain to manage their emotions. Your brain thinks, if I can just give them enough context, they won't be angry, they won't leave me, and I will be safe. You are trying to control their perception of you because their perception dictates your internal safety. Think of it like this metaphor. You are a defense attorney. You have gathered mountains of evidence, perfectly organized files, and irrefutable proof of your innocence. You are presenting your case with tears in your eyes, speaking with passion and pure truth. But you are presenting your case to an empty courtroom. The judge has already left. The jury has already gone home. The verdict was written before you even opened your mouth. You are exhausting yourself trying to win a trial that ended before it began. So, how do we dismantle the courtroom? How do we stop bleeding out our energy to people who are committed to misunderstanding us? It requires a conscious behavioral interruption of the nervous system. You have to teach your brain that someone else being wrong about you is not a threat to your survival. Here are 3 psychological principles to break the cycle of over-explaining. Step 1. Implement the J.A.D.E framework. In clinical psychology, particularly in dialectical behavior therapy, there is a boundary-setting tool called J.A.D.E. It stands for Do Not Justify, Argue, Defend, or Explain. The next time someone intentionally misinterprets your actions and you feel that hot, rising panic in your chest, urging you to write a novel, stop. Do not justify your choice. Do not argue their logic. Do not defend your character. Do not explain your intentions. Simply state your truth one time in one sentence. I meant what I said, and I am not going to argue about my intentions. And then you embrace the silence. The silence will feel terrifying at first. Your brain will scream at you to fill it. Let the brain scream. Do not feed the cycle. Step 2. Relinquish the fantasy of the aha moment. You over-explain because you are addicted to a fantasy. The fantasy is that if you just find the perfect combination of words, the other person's eyes will widen, the clouds will part, and they will finally say, I see you. You must grieve this fantasy. Accept the radical, painful truth. Some people misunderstand you as a coping mechanism. If they understand your pure intentions, it means they have to look at their own toxic behavior. It is easier for them to villainize you than it is for them to take accountability. Their misunderstanding of you is not a mistake. It is a shield they use to protect their own ego. No amount of words can penetrate a shield they are choosing to hold up. Step 3. Self-sourcing your reality. When you stop explaining yourself to others, all that frantic energy has to go somewhere. You must turn it inward. When they twist your words, instead of looking at them to validate you, look at yourself. Place a hand on your chest. Feel your own heartbeat. Tell yourself out loud, I know my intentions. I know my heart. My reality does not require their signature to be true. You have to become the parent to your own inner child. You have to be the one who says, I see you and you are not crazy. To anchor this into your daily life, consider the mental model of the key and the blank wall. For years, you have been walking around with a heavy golden key in your hands. The key represents your truth, your heart, and your desperate desire for connection. When conflict arises, you walk up to the other person and you try to insert your key. You push, you twist, you explain, you cry, but you are trying to put a key into a blank concrete wall. There is no keyhole. There is no door. They do not possess the emotional capacity or the desire to open up and receive your truth. Every time you over-explain, you are just scratching your beautiful golden key against rough concrete. You are damaging your own soul trying to unlock a door that does not exist. Stop scratching at the wall. Take your key, put it in your pocket, and walk away. Save your explanations for people who actually have doors. It is a terrifying thing to stop defending yourself. It goes against every survival instinct your wounded inner child has ever known. When you first stop explaining, people will be angry. They are used to you fighting for their approval. They will call you cold. They will call you arrogant. Let them. You must give yourself permission to be the villain in someone else's distorted story. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not need to present your heart to a jury that is committed to finding you guilty. Your truth is whole. Your reality is valid. Take a deep breath. Step out of the courtroom. Drop the case. You no longer need to translate your soul. You are allowed to simply exist, misunderstood by them, but finally, deeply understood by yourself.